Oh, you think you got away?
Welcome to Harlots of Spook Talk. As always, viewer discretion is advised. And then we're going to be talking today about George and Martha Washington. I'm Carly.
And I'm Tiffany. Welcome. We're gonna start just jumping into this, like the marriage of George and Martha Washington. Yes, our very first president and lady, Miss Lady President. Okay, whatever. On January 6th of 1759, one of the most important marriages in colonial Virginia. Is that right?
Yep,
Colonial? Okay. Virginia took place at a lovely plantation home situated
River.
on the river. Yeah, we're not going to butcher that. A young, beautiful widow named Martha was married to a distinguished officer who had seen service in the western frontiers, Colonel George Washington. At the time of their marriage, Martha was perhaps the more prominent of the two.
Martha was the widow of Daniel Park. She had been born Martha Dundridge, I think, don't come for me. And by the time of her marriage to Washington, she was one of the wealthiest ladies in America, owning 17,000 acres and hundreds of,
Oh, those, yeah, people.
yeah. She had two young children, a son named John and a daughter named Martha, who was called Patsy.
Well, yeah, because you got the same name as your mom.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Golly. So little did Colonel Washington and his bride realize at the time of their marriage that the groom would one day become the father of his country and that he would be proclaimed by Light Horse Harry Lee first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen. For the couple still in their 20s, their goal was to form a godly marriage and establish a family together.
When husband and wife came together in marriage, there was no longer individual ownership, but rather a sharing of resources. Martha Washington brought a dowry interest of the Custis estate with a large land holdings. Washington was already the master of Mount Vernon, and he also had land holdings in the valley. Their marriage would remain happy over the course of 4 decades as George and Martha Washington shared together all the blessings of life.
Life was not all easy. Well, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
Even even for the privileged, few who owned land
Yeah, we're
and
going to see.
people in colonial Virginia, the Washingtons hoped to have children together, but they were unable to conceive children. Patsy, Martha's daughter from her previous marriage, aw,
Yeah,
okay, so she
passed.
passed away of epilepsy when she was a teenager. When Colonel Washington was called away from Mount Vernon to assume the mantle of leadership in the struggle against the British invasion, his wife Martha was left to manage the large estate on her own. She personally organized a sewing club among other ladies to prepare desperately needed clothing for the officers and men of the Continental Army. Mrs. Washington generally stayed with her husband each winter, and she was with him during the dreadful, bitterly cold days at Valley Forge.
During the siege of Yorktown, Mrs. Washington's last surviving child, her son, John, passed away of camp fever, a form of typhus. The tragedy robbed Washington's great victory at Yorktown of some of its joy.
Aww.
Oh,
He wasn't even there. He was like away. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Poor thing. Okay. The Washingtons returned to Mount Vernon after the war, looking forward to a time of ease and retirement from public duties as they sought to raise two of Martha's grandchildren. Wait, so who
Yeah,
had grandchildren?
the
Who
oldest
had?
boy, probably. But remember, back then, even 13-year-olds were having kids.
That's true.
But I think this is cute, the next part, what they named them
Oh,
after this
Nellie
stepfather.
and Nellie and George Washington Park.
After
Aw.
the stepfather, yep.
Where did Nellie come from?
I don't know. But the
Oh,
stepfather, I thought that was kinda cool.
that is cute. Aw. So there was to be no retirement. By unanimous consent, George Washington was elected to become the first president of the United States of America.
They lived newly established capital in New York City. George Washington was generally referred to as His Excellency, and his wife Martha was known as Lady Washington. Because of the title, First Lady was not then in use.
Without any children of their own, George and Martha Washington truly became the father and mother of their country. Their loving marriage and faithful devotion to God, to each other, and to generations of Americans yet unborn set a pattern that we would all do well to follow. When they passed away, they were buried together at Mount Vernon, on the shores of the river, there
Oh,
to await the resurrection of the just. Oh, shoot.
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, that was cute. Like, I
I
never
don't.
knew they didn't have kids together. I knew, like, he was a stepfather, and I thought that was kinda cool, like, the grandkid was named after him.
That's probably, I mean, I could see
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
So, like, but that is pretty cool. And
that
Nelly, that's pretty cool because, like, I love Nelly, the rapper, okay?
I just
hmm.
she supported him to his death in 1799,
Hmm.
what she described as the most painful day of her life is when she lost her husband.
That's crazy.
That is, like, to have a love like that,
Yeah.
that is
But I mean, we have talked about that
yeah, it's diff
multiple with other people. They like the Titanic couple.
yeah, that was so sweet. I
Hmm.
mean, I they chose to go down together. Like, think about that.
Yeah. And
Mm,
they were together for so long. And, you know, the Washingtons went through so much together
yes.
at a difficult point in time in the world. Like they, like becoming the first president and the first lady and like
Yeah, the world changed.
yeah.
Like, we were no longer under British rule.
No,
The world
and
totally changed in front of them.
and they did it together.
They did.
So
Without
then,
her, he would never have been where he was, and without him, she would never
mhm.
have been. So that's pretty cool.
I do. That is pretty cool. I do like that. It sucks they didn't have any kids together, but
They did have 2 grandkids, and he raised them as his own, it says, so that was pretty cool.
yeah, I do. I like that too. That was
Yeah,
that, yeah, because they always wanted to, and I mean,
yeah,
he was. I would say he was a good stepfather,
yeah,
according to you know
yeah, that we know,
readings. Yeah. Oh, that's
but
cute.
yes.
Okay, that was a cute
That
story.
was and that is the story of George and Martha Washington leading up to their little love story, and that's about it. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't either.
That's I don't know. There's too many of these stories that are so similar though. Like that's the crazy part because you
It
hear
is.
about one and then you're like, oh, you think it's rare, but it's not. Because then you start like going down a rabbit hole of finding all these people that,
Yes,
and it's a good rabbit hole. Okay, trust me, I've been down a lot of rabbit holes. So
it is. Like my dad's parents, my grandfather passed away when I was young, but my grandmother never even looked at somebody else. She waited. I think it was like she outlived him by over 20 some years, and she waited for him. Like, not waited,
wow,
but you know what I mean? She
yeah,
never even dated or looked any other way.
yeah. See, that's
Stuff like
because the older generation,
believed in.
what these people don't anymore. Don't get me started on that because that's just like going down another. This is supposed to be a happy little
Fabulous.
story.
It is. We'll keep it happy. We'll keep it happy.
Yeah, so that was about the first lady and the first president of the United States of America, who is on the dollar bill.
Yes.
Little fun fact, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. Blessed be. I hope you all enjoyed this
All right, y'all enjoy y'all's Valentine's Day
and stay spooky.
all the time. Okay, love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, real quick before we jump back in, I wanted to share something we've been checking out lately. If you've been trying to get more nutrients into your routine but don't want to deal with a ton of supplements, Zio Life is really easy option. It's microalgae superfood that's packed with protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Basically, a daily boost in one small serving.
Yeah, and what's cool is you only need 1 teaspoon a day, and it supports things like gut health, energy, and even healthier skin and hair. It's getting tons of 5-star reviews because people actually notice a difference when they add it to their routine.
And it's great if you're busy or on the go. You can mix it into smoothies, juice, or just water, and you're getting bioavailable protein, essential fatty acids, and nutrients that help support overall wellness and performance without a complicated prep.
And plus, we've got an exclusive 30% off discount. And that's the best deal they offer anywhere. So, if you've been wanting to clean up your diet or boost your daily nutrition, now's the perfect time to try it.
Just head over to zivo.life or grab the link in our show notes so your discount is applied automatically.
Yes, give it a try and see how much better you feel. And just with one small daily change, don't forget to put host in the discount HOST.
All right, now let's get back to the episode.